Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Gav Major and this is a review of the Tech Tree Tier 6 French destroyer Vauquelin, available as early access at the moment but will be researchable in the next patch. Now Vauquelin is the lead destroyer of a group of 6 large destroyers. This class entered service between 1933 and 1934. Vauquelin is most famous for running the gauntlet within the Mediterranean in order to supply ammunition to French Lebanon under the Vichy French government when the Allies did invade French Lebanon. She was scuttled in Toulon in 1942 when the Germans occupied the Vichy France zone. Now, this is a game of domination on Crash Zone. On the enemy team there's an Akatsuki, a Lightning, Double Wichter, Nagato, Scharnhorst, Gneisenhower, Colorado and Amaraki, so it is a tier 6 and 7 game. And we have the Gneisenhower over here. We also note that the objective is being captured. So we've got our guns locked off to our left. And note that the battleships are nowhere to be seen. So whatever I do here, I'm going to be unsupported, and I do have a Wichita, which is going to give me a world of pain. So I think I'm just going to contest. Oh no, probably get spotted. You know what, we're going to have to accept this. And we're going to have to use our maneuverability to dodge these torpedoes and then push the Akatsuki as hard as possible. But I have to bear in mind that the Wichita is nearby, and the Wichita is probably going to be racing in order to try and cut me off. So whatever I do, I don't want to be getting myself exposed. I'm assuming that the Akatsuki has a run, and what I'm going to do, because of where the Wichita is, I'm going to make sure that I've got this island between me and the Wichita. And now I just got to run. Try and get out of radar range of the Wichita. Okay, well, after that brief engagement, we can now go over the Vauquelin stats. She has the highest HP for her tier in comparison to the Tech Tree Tier 7 destroyers. However, she has the thinnest minimum armour and an average maximum armour. Artillery wise, she has 5 5.5 inch guns in 5 single mounts, so you have A turret with B turret super firing over at the front, you have Q turret aft midships, which is rearward facing, and then you have X turret super firing over Y turret at the rear. It's a bit risky, but let's get some guns on target. Put some pressure onto their ships, and just make sure that we've got the maneuverability to dodge. And then we'll just make sure that we break off. Just kick that tail right around. Now when talking about the artillery, we have the largest gun pack caliber for the tier, we have the joint longest range, we have an average traverse speed and reload time, highest HE and AP damage per shell, and we have the highest fire chance per shell as well. So what does this really all add up to at the end of the day? Well, this adds up to having the third highest HE DPM, the second highest AP DPM, and the second highest fires per minute chance. Torpedoes wise, now this is fully upgraded, you should note. You have 3 times 3, so basically you got 3 triple launchers. You got 1 mount of the midships, then you got 2 wing mounts. You got 1 on the starboard side and 1 on the port side. Now this does mean that you have a broadside of about 6 torpedoes, even though you actually carry 9 torpedoes overall. So you are having to look at doing quite funky maneuvers in order to actually get all your torpedoes on target. I'm just going to overrun what my original plan was, just to make sure I don't get caught up by these. There we go. Now these torpedoes, you have the second fastest reload per launcher, but you do have the slowest reload per tube. So take away from that what you will. Now these torpedoes obviously do the highest amount of damage, French torpedoes for you. But they have the second shortest range for the tier. Basically, the only people who've got shorter range torpedoes than you are the Russians, and they're known for having only 4-kilometer range torpedoes. If you don't take any concealment buffs or torpedo range buffs, you are looking at a stealth torpedo range of 0 kilometers base. So taking anything, if you want to play as torpedo boats, you have to maximize concealment and maybe look into some of those abilities that some of the commanders have in regards to maximizing your torpedo range. And the torpedoes in general just have like an average speed, so they're not as slow as initially thought. Maneuverability. Now, I'm going to ask you to bear in mind that Wargaming have said that she has the agile trait. Okay, so she has above average maneuverability apparently. She's the joint slowest. She has the second largest turning circle, and she has a slow rudder shift. Does that sound agile to you? Not one bit. Concealment, your average for the tier. So that's something nice to mention. Now, consumable wise, you do have 2 engine boosts. These improve your engine speed by 20% for 120 seconds, and they have a 180-second reload. So this would take your base speed from 36 knots to 43.2 knots. That's excluding any commander boosts or flag boosts with that. You also have a main battery reload booster. Now this reduces your reload time of your main guns by 50% for 15 seconds, which means that you should be expecting to get about 5 volleys out on target. However, you only get 1 of these, which I think is a shame because it's quite a unique ability. Just taking an opportunity here to open fire on that Scharnhorst, and then I might just take an opportunity to open up on this Colorado. Just to tease him. Now, modules wise, will be down in the description of this video along with the commander build. But what I have gone for is I have gone for the main battery mod 2. I think at this tier, just because of that slow turret traverse, it is worth starting to consider taking that dent to your main battery reload time in order to have those improved traversing turrets, because they are slow. And then I've gone for steering gears module 2. The reason being is that additional 20% to your rudder shift is almost needed, especially because you don't have smoke screens, you are going to be relying on your maneuverability in order to dodge incoming fire. And then last but not least, I think it's pretty much compulsory, you have to have Concealment mod system 1. That minus 10% to your detectability range is almost a must, considering that you have absolutely 0 stealth torpedo range ability at base, basically. And now I can put the notepad away, and we can now focus on the game. So, their team have kind of balled up at this objective. There was a moment earlier this game where I thought I'd kind of blown it, but we've managed to recover it. So what you may have noticed, if you haven't already looked down in the description, is that with my commander build, I've gone for a very torpedo build. And the reason why I've gone for that is I just feel that the torpedoes on these ships, being so hard hitting, is one of their strongest hands, and therefore whatever we can do to almost improve that, I'm going to put 1 on target and 1 behind. Because the torpedoes hit so hard, if we can take advantage of that, then that is going to be a good trait to have. And so I've almost found that I play them like very big Japanese destroyers. You've got guns to handle yourself should you need to, Otherwise, you have some of the hardest hitting torpedoes, and whatever you can do to try and maximise their range and your concealment is always much appreciated. Because the torpedoes do things like that, where they just seem to absolutely smash an enemy ship. These destroyers are very good destroyer killers with their main battery reload booster, but you can only really get one, maybe two if you're lucky, because with your main battery reload booster it pretty much guarantees that you're going to put a lot of hurt on a destroyer at a point in the game. And if you don't come across a destroyer, you can always use it to chuck loads of shells down range onto a battleship, and therefore that will then enable you to set a lot of fires because of that very good fire chance. And then with those torpedoes, the ability to really hurt battleships. So one thing I've noted is that it takes about 4 torpedoes to kill a tier 5 battleship, and that's not a lot of torpedoes. So if you can get both launchers on target, you can pretty much wipe out a tier 5 battleship. Now Nagato's looking weak. I might go hunting this Gneisenhower. Now, the consumables wise, it would have been nicer to have 2 main battery reload boosters, but we only get the 1. We only get 2 engine boosts as well. It would have been nice to get 3, but I don't think going for a fully packed commander is going to be the right ability, because any commander that offers you fully packed means that you can't take Unstoppable, and because you can't take Unstoppable, you're kind of putting yourself in a precarious position, because having your engine and your rudder shift still going on in these destroyers is so critical to breaking off. Okay, I made some progress on the campaign. I've only really started the campaign. So only 44,000 damage, only 1 kill, 4 torpedo hits on target, and you know that every single torpedo caused flooding, and so they really, when they hit, they have a good chance of causing flooding as well, just because they have such a big warhead. Captured that objective twice, amusingly, I think. And then, yeah, only 26 citizens on target, so all in all, it's alright, and came second on the team. Shortly, just underneath the other destroyer on my team. So yeah, all in all, I was quite happy with that game. Made a pretty penny at the end of the day, and the buying cost for this game was only 105,000 credits. Well, if you enjoyed the review, give the video a thumbs up. If you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. If you are already subscribed, then thank you very much, guys. Your support and contribution to the channel is always much appreciated. If you have any of your own game captures that you'd like to submit for amateur reports or sea trials, our email address is down in the description alongside the ship modules and commander build used during this video. I'm the guy from Asia, and back to the port.